So hello guys, we're gonna go through the first four principles of personal awareness, which is second to the first class that we did. And I put together these principles because I think before you start a company, there has to be some self-awareness of what you're good at and how to improve on that. So these principles will just help you, give you an idea of how to position yourself in a within the company or even before you started, but just to be in the right mind frame in order to think about what is that you need to improve on for you to actually be an effective entrepreneur. Or if you're interested in entrepreneurship, that's something that I do think it's just worth doing like an internal search on. So there are some exercises at the end of this PowerPoint that can help give you a guideline, and I'll encourage you guys to be a part of, just to get involved and do that, and hopefully submit it by next weekend. I think that will help a lot to kind of give you guys the momentum to keep going and really understand the fundamentals of what is needed to build a successful company. So just going to the next slide. So, just based on my experience, I've done some consulting internationally. I've studied some entrepreneurship theories that I think is critical. Just give you a good mindset of personal awareness. Other theories like economics of equality and startup science has been integral in how I think about entrepreneurship, and it has really helped shape the premises of this PowerPoint, of this handbook, and also of how I think about how we should address startups. Most importantly, I've tried many things and feel not necessarily I'm proud of, but it's given me some good insights of what it means to actually become something rather than trying to be something, right? And I think it's only through actions that you actually learn a lot about, um, you know, um, personal entrepreneurship, but also what entrepreneurship is all about. And it has been really helpful for me as I'm thinking about, how to build successful companies. Um, so I think that's something that can really have an integral part in how we think about personal growth and personal awareness. So just to take the next phase, right? I think for the four principles that we're going to go through today, and I'll just go with, before you start a company, the idea has to be feasible, but, you also have to think about, what, who you are as a person. So the first one is learn the art of sales. So this is really important because as an entrepreneur, you always have to learn what it means to actually sell a product, not just, like what we think of car dealers or, how we think of, these people that post stuff on YouTube and all that, which, can be very, kind of painful to watch sometimes, but just like, how do you pitch your idea? How do you make yourself, how do you invite people into your space in a way that they really understand the concept of your idea, but also just having the ability to pitch to people that you're not acquaintance with, right? There are many great books out there to learn how the learn the art of sales, which I'll recommend as we move forward. But learning how to sell is very critical, and it's important for you to actually learn that, because not only do you pitch to others, but you actually can revise the pitch for yourself later on. And I think that's really, really important when you actually play it on rewind in your mind, when people kind of give the idea back to you and you're able to adjust and build on that. So that's really integral, and that actually helps build your personal story better, and also what you're trying to build better. The other thing is, going to the next thing, storytelling, right? Because learning how to sell also comes with, learn how to tell a good story. And I think it's important because when you tell a good story, or you're very good at storytelling, it kind of builds a lot on how you think about what is something that's really compelling and authentic that people can really connect to and feel engaged and feel like they want to make a difference, right? And it's really, really important for us to actually think of building, kind of always writing a story that is very compelling, and that is very, that actually invites people to come into the space of what you're trying to build. And learning this requires, reading some really good books, watching some really inspirational speakers. I'm reading now Obama's book, The Promised Land, and you can sense that someone that you can learn from, someone that can actually package a story in a way that feels very compelling. Even people from across the aisle who are Republicans can really understand where he's coming from with some of the policies that he was trying to pass. But most importantly, it's a skill. And I think actually there was this book I was reading, I think it's called The Art of Writing. That was recommended by a friend, which I'm trying to kind of find that. But I'll kind of profess that in the coming lectures. Lectures. So, but it's very critical and very important on how we think of storytelling. And I think as part of your personal awareness, we have to really build on this and actually build on how we can actually tell better stories. Third is, developing the passion for the idea. So I think this might sound kind of crazy, but when we develop a passion for something, it's just identifying the passion, because sometimes we don't really know what we're passionate about, and we have to go out there and search for it, but actually do the work. So that's why I mean develop passion, because people have a passion for this, but you actually have to go out there and try it out, and you find out whether you're really passionate about it. That's what I mean by develop a passion for the idea. So, literally either do an internship for a startup, or, you volunteer for a company and all these things, because I think it's critical in your development process for an entrepreneur. Or even have the entrepreneur mindset, which is what we're trying to teach you at this school, to be able to figure out what is something that you really, really care about. And I think that is something that comes with a lot of work. You have to put in some work in order to make that come into fruition. So developing passion is very critical, and I think it helps build the momentum that's necessary for you to actually get something done, and get the necessary momentum for you personally, but also for you to understand the impact of the chain reaction that comes with doing acting by doing, which I think is very integral in developing this entrepreneur mindset. Then the fourth, which I think this is very, very important, is learn how social media works. I know this is not really like personal awareness, but it also, through social media, you can learn a lot about self-absorption, self-identity, and just the psychology of your personality. And I think that's really critical, because without really understanding like the dynamics of the internet and all that, which is a world that we have, just by development of technology and all that, we are now in that space. We are kind of we're in this position where we have to define our identity on social media, and through that you can learn a lot about yourself and how you interact with people, and your identity, and just what it takes for you to actually be fully acknowledge what makes you to feel fulfilled. And I think that in a sense makes it really, really interesting and a good space to learn about social media. So that is it for today. I'm going to just go through the first four. But what we're going to be working on today is I'll encourage you to do a personality test today, this week, as well as write some habits that you kind of do often, because the point of this exercise is to help you fulfill or kind of understand what those principles were. Next one is, how do you develop feed forward, which if you have questions, you can always ask me later. And the fourth is, how do you earn kindness, which is, as you go through the first four principles, I think it's exercises that will be interesting for you to try out and get back to me on that. So the worksheets are in the handbook, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But that's the session for today, and thank you so much for listening to this video, and I'm looking forward to having having you guys next week. So have a wonderful day. Feel free to subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube, and reach out if you are interested in the Pre-Entrepreneurship School. But that's it for today, and I'll see you next week. Bye from the Pre-Entrepreneurship School.